Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today we have predictions for 6 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Denver Nuggets and Detroit Pistons. The Denver Nuggets are rolling right now, sitting pretty at third in the West after their 125-116 win over the Pacers. They've been on fire, with 10 wins in their last 11 games, and their offense is clicking like a well-oiled machine. Jokic is doing Jokic things, and his ability to dish out assists, like that career-high 19 dimes, is making life easier for Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, who've been stepping up big time lately. Let's not forget their dominance on the glass. They're pulling down 45.9 boards a game, and that's a serious advantage over teams like Detroit. But here's the thing, Detroit is not to be underestimated. The Pistons have won 8 straight, and their defense has been lights out during this streak. I mean, they just made the Celtics look like they were playing on ice skates, handling them 117-97. Cade Cunningham is continuing to show why he's one of the top playmaking guards in the league, and they're getting solid contributions from guys like Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris. The team is firing on all cylinders right now, and their defense, once a liability, has turned into one of the league's best. Looking at this matchup, the Nuggets are coming in with some serious talent, but they're also going to be dealing with the grind of a back-to-back after facing the Bucks. That's not the best spot to be in when you're facing a team that's clicking as well as Detroit is. The Pistons are rested, confident, and playing with some serious swagger. They've shown that they're more than capable of taking down the heavyweights, and they've got the defense to disrupt Denver's rhythm. Even though Denver won their last matchup against Detroit, they had the luxury of being at home. This time, the Pistons are in their house, and you can bet they'll be looking for revenge. Plus, they've been playing with a chip on their shoulder, and that's exactly the kind of energy that can fuel a win. I expect Detroit to continue their hot streak, especially with the Nuggets dealing with fatigue. I've got a feeling the Pistons will not only cover the spread, but also have a real shot at taking this one outright. With their defense, their depth, and the way they've been playing lately, they're poised to keep this run alive.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
Second prediction for today is for a game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Atlanta Hawks. This Friday, we're in for an exciting matchup between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Atlanta Hawks at State Farm Arena. Now, the Thunder are sitting pretty at the top of the Western Conference with an impressive 47-12 record, and they're coming off a strong win against Brooklyn. That said, they've had some recent slip-ups, including a surprising collapse against the Timberwolves, which raises some questions about their consistency. Still, their offensive firepower is hard to ignore. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is absolutely on fire, averaging 32.4 points per game, and with Chet Holmgren back in the lineup, the Thunder's attack is as deadly as it gets. Holmgren's been a beast on both ends of the floor, contributing big time with points, rebounds, and blocks. This duo, along with Jalen Williams, gives OKC the depth to put up points in bunches and put pressure on Atlanta from all angles. But don't count the Hawks out just yet. They struggled this season, no doubt, and their defense has been their Achilles heel. Their recent loss to the Miami Heat, where they gave up 131 points, highlighted some glaring defensive issues. When Atlanta allows big numbers on the scoreboard, things usually spiral out of control. That's where Oklahoma City can really take advantage. But the Hawks do have their bright spots, especially when they're at home. Trae Young, one of the league's best playmakers, is the guy who keeps everything running for Atlanta. Averaging 24 points and 11.4 assists, Young's ability to create offense for himself and his teammates is what could keep the game competitive. If he can get into a rhythm and find some open looks for his guys, Atlanta could make this one interesting. The absence of Jalen Johnson, who had been putting up solid numbers for the Hawks, makes things more difficult for them, especially in the front court. With him out, Atlanta is a bit thinner in that department, so the pressure is on their other players to step up. Guys like Dyson Daniels and Zachary Rizicher will need to contribute more on both ends if they want to keep pace with the Thunder's high-octane attack. Oklahoma City's defense is no joke. They're ranked number 1 in both field goal and three-point defense, and they've shown time and time again that they know how to lock teams down. For the Hawks to stand a chance, they'll have to be at their best defensively and avoid turning the ball over, as the Thunder can feast on turnovers in transition. If Young can break down their defense and Atlanta limits their mistakes, they'll be able to hang around. But that's easier said than done when you're facing a team that can stifle you on both ends like OKC. At the end of the day, even though the Hawks have home court advantage and Young's playmaking could keep them in the game for stretches, the Thunder just have too much firepower. With Gilgeous-Alexander leading the charge and Holmgren providing a two-way presence, Oklahoma City is well equipped to exploit Atlanta's defensive weaknesses. I think the Thunder will take control in the second half and push this one to a comfortable win. I'd put my money on OKC covering the spread here. They've got the depth, the defense, and the scoring to finish strong and secure the W. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics. This matchup between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics is shaping up to be a real thriller. The Celtics have historically dominated the head-to-head battle, but this season, it's been a different story. The teams have been going toe-to-toe, with the Celtics coming out on top twice, but the Cavs are not backing down, having won their lone matchup in Cleveland. With both teams hungry for the win, this one has that playoff vibe written all over it. Cleveland is on a serious roll right now, having won 9 straight games, and they've been playing solid basketball all season long. It's been a fun ride watching them climb to the top of the standings, and their recent blowout win over Orlando really caught my attention. That kind of performance proves they're ready for a big test. But make no mistake, they'll need to be at their absolute best, especially on defense, to handle a Celtics squad that can light it up on offense. Evan Mobley's been the Cavs' defensive anchor, but they've struggled at times when facing Boston this season. If they want to pull off a win here, it'll take more than just playing defense. They'll need to execute on offense and play a clean game. In their last meeting with Boston, the Cavs showed they can hang with the Celtics, even though they fell short. They had a solid first half, leading at the break, but a rough third quarter put them in a hole. The Cavs, however, didn't fold, storming back in the fourth with 43 points. Donovan Mitchell was huge in that one, dropping 35 points, including 5 threes. Darius Garland also had a strong outing with 22 points and 8 assists, but his status for this game is uncertain due to a hip injury, which could really throw a wrench in Cleveland's game plan if he's out. Without Garland, the Cavs will have to rely on their other guys to step up big time. On the flip side, the Celtics are coming off a tough loss to Detroit, which has to sting. They have been rolling before that, especially at home, but the Pistons exposed some weaknesses, and it's clear Boston is still figuring some things out. Despite that, they're still the more complete team overall. The Celtics were able to control things when they faced the Cavs earlier this season, with Tatum leading the charge and Porzingis doing his part with 19 points. Jaylen Brown missed the Detroit game, so his status for this one will be something to keep an eye on. If he's back, it gives Boston another weapon, and that could make a huge difference. The Celtics have been great at controlling the boards and limiting second chance opportunities, and they'll need to continue that trend against the Cavs. Their defense has been strong this season, and they managed to hold Cleveland to under 40% shooting in their last meeting. But turnovers are still an issue for Boston. They gave up 12 in that game, and against a team like the Cavs, that could be a costly mistake. If the Celtics can avoid giving Cleveland easy buckets, they'll have a good shot at winning this one. I'm leaning toward Boston in this one. They've got the edge at home, and they've proven they can handle Cleveland, even when it gets tight. But don't get me wrong, the Cavs are no slouches, and with players like Mitchell and Mobley, they could easily make this a game. If Garland suits up, that could be a game changer, but even without him, Cleveland's been tough to beat. The Celtics have more depth, though, and with Tatum, Brown, if healthy, and Porzingis, I think they'll get it done in front of their home crowd. In the end, this one's going to be close, but I expect Boston to come out on top. Cleveland's been great, and they might cover the spread, but I trust the Celtics to find a way to win this one, especially with the kind of talent they have at their disposal. It's going to be a fun one, and I'm expecting both teams to leave it all on the court. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the New York Knicks and Memphis Grizzlies. This matchup between the Memphis Grizzlies and New York Knicks is shaping up to be a real battle, especially with both teams tied at 38-20. But when you break it down, the two squads have had very different paths leading into this game, which could make all the difference in the end. The Knicks have had a bit of a roller coaster ride lately. After taking a couple of tough losses to the Eastern Conference juggernauts, Cleveland and Boston, they managed to squeak by the Philadelphia 76ers. It wasn't pretty, though. They were outscored by 11 in the second half, and it took a big performance from Jalen Brunson, who dropped 34 points and dished out 7 assists to get them across the finish line. Mikal Bridges also stepped up with 28 points, but they were still short on offensive depth. With Karl Anthony Towns sidelined, it's clear they're missing that extra spark, especially on defense. They've always prided themselves on that side of the ball, but they've slipped outside the top 15 in defensive rankings this season. They'll need Mitchell Robinson to get back soon to bolster that paint presence, but for now, their offense remains their saving grace. Brunson, Bridges, and OG Anunoby are logging huge minutes, but for the Knicks to really contend, they'll need to find more scoring help across the board. Now, Memphis is coming off a thrilling win over the Suns, 151-148, but it's been a bit of a mixed bag for them after the All-Star break. Still, they sit in a solid position at 38-20, tied with Denver for second in the West. What stands out about Memphis is their unique offensive system. They don't rely on pick and roll as much as the majority of the league. Instead, they move off the ball, creating open looks with smart spacing and solid ball movement. Ja Morant is the engine driving it all, constantly attacking the rim or setting up teammates in transition. The Grizzlies also get it done defensively with Jaren Jackson Jr., who's in the race for Defensive Player of the Year, and Desmond Bane, who's becoming one of the league's most well-rounded players. Memphis' offense is elite, but they've struggled on defense, especially in that blowout loss to the Knicks earlier in the season when they gave up 143 points. Still, with a high-powered offense and the energy of their home crowd, the Grizzlies are always tough to beat. Speaking of home court advantage, Memphis is dominant at home with a 22-6 record, and they've been fantastic against the spread, going 16-9 as a home favorite. This team knows how to protect their house, and with the chip on their shoulder after that January blowout loss to the Knicks, I can't see them letting it happen again. They'll be hungry for revenge, and they know that getting this win could be crucial to keep pace in the tight Western Conference race. For the Knicks to have a shot, they'll need to control the tempo of the game and slow Memphis down in transition. Their three-point shooting could be the key, especially with Towns out. They'll need guys like Brunson and Bridges to step up in that department. But with the Knicks struggling against top teams all season, it's hard to imagine them going into Memphis and coming out with a W. In the end, I think Memphis takes this one, especially at home where they've been nearly unbeatable. I'm expecting the Grizzlies to get the win and cover the 2.5-point spread. With New York banged up and their inconsistency against the league's best, I don't see them pulling off the upset here. The Grizzlies are just a different beast when they're in front of their fans, and I think they'll be out for blood after that earlier loss. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the Indiana Pacers and Miami Heat. The Indiana Pacers are rolling into Miami with a solid 33-24 record, sitting pretty in fourth place in the East. They've been clicking on offense, ranking 8th in the league with 116.2 points per 100 possessions. After some early struggles, especially with Tyrese Halliburton not being his usual self, they've found their rhythm. Halliburton has shaken off the rust and is back to his best, dishing out 8.7 assists per game while scoring 18.4 points. Pascal Siakam has been the real steady hand, leading the team with 20.3 points and 7.3 rebounds per game. The Pacers are coming off a big 111-91 win over the Raptors, showing exactly how dangerous they can be when they get things going. They're ready to keep that momentum going on the road. The Miami Heat, though, have had a season that's been a bit of a roller coaster. At 27-30, they're fighting to stay in the playoff picture, sitting in 8th place. They're coming off a nice win against the Hawks, 131-109, but it's been an up and down year for them. Tyler Herro has been playing lights out, averaging 24 points a game and stepping into the leader role that Miami needs right now. But outside of him, it's been a struggle. The Heat's offense has been inconsistent, ranking 18th in offensive rating, and their three-point shooting has been all over the place. If they can't fix that, it's going to be tough to keep up with a Pacers team that can light it up from everywhere. Their defense has been decent, but it hasn't been enough to make up for their offensive issues. When you look at the matchup, it's clear the Pacers have the edge, especially on offense. They've already beaten Miami twice this season, including a dominant 13-point win in Miami. The Heat might have a strong home court record, but their offense just hasn't been consistent enough to match the firepower that the Pacers bring. Indiana's scoring attack is just too deep, and with Halliburton back in form, they've got the playmaking and shooting to put Miami on the ropes. For the Pacers to take this one, they'll need to crash the boards and limit second-chance opportunities for Miami. That's been a problem at times, and against a team like the Heat, they can't afford to give up extra possessions. Miami, on the other hand, needs to find some rhythm from beyond the arc. If they can't hit from deep, it's going to be tough for them to keep up with Indiana's scoring onslaught. At the end of the day, I think the Pacers are the better team. They've shown they can handle the Heat, and with their offense clicking like it has been, I don't see Miami keeping pace. If Indiana keeps their shot selection sharp and defends the boards, they'll walk away with the win. The Heat just don't have the offensive firepower to compete for 48 minutes, and I expect the Pacers to take this one and cover the spread. The sixth prediction for today is for a game between the Los Angeles Clippers and Los Angeles Lakers. Alright, let's dive into this matchup between the Lakers and Clippers. This one's going to be interesting, no doubt. The Lakers have really started to find their rhythm recently, and with a 36-21 record, they're in a great spot. Their last few games have shown just how dangerous they can be, especially now that Luka Doncic is on the roster. The guy's a franchise changer, and even though there are some growing pains with him and LeBron sharing the court, they've both shown they can make it work. Add in Austin Reeves stepping up as a solid third piece, and the Lakers are looking scary right now. But here's the thing, how do they keep the balance between LeBron and Luka? Both love to have the ball in their hands, and if they can figure out how to coexist on the floor, the sky's the limit for them. That's the key question moving forward. On the flip side, the Clippers have been a roller coaster all season. They've got talent, no doubt, but they've lacked the consistency needed to truly separate themselves. Sitting at 32-26, they've had some solid moments, but they're still trying to figure out how to consistently show up. With Tyronn Lue at the helm, they've kept it together despite injuries to big names like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. The defense is legit though, and that's been their bread and butter. Norman Powell is balling out like it's his best season yet, and Ivica Zubac continues to be a reliable presence in the paint. But with a 13-16 record on the road, they've had their struggles away from home, and that's something to keep an eye on here. They're going to need to bring their A game if they're going to take down a Lakers team that's firing on all cylinders right now. Now, let's talk about the dynamic of the city rivalry. The Clippers have actually gotten the better of the Lakers more than once in recent years, winning 6 of the last 10 matchups. Their defense could definitely cause problems for the Lakers, especially with the way they've been able to slow teams down. But playing at home gives the Lakers the edge, and it's hard to ignore the way they've been playing recently. They're red hot, and while the second game of a back-to-back could be tricky, I still trust LeBron and Luka to get the job done. If the Lakers stay healthy and don't deal with any last-minute injuries, I think they've got this one locked up. The Clippers' defense is good, but I just don't trust their inconsistency enough to think they'll be able to stop the Lakers from running them out of the building, especially with how deep the Lakers are. They've shown they can handle a team like the Clippers with ease, and with Luka and LeBron leading the charge, I think they'll take care of business at home. The Clippers are going to fight, but I just don't think they have the firepower to hang with a Lakers team that's rolling right now. I'm all in on the Lakers taking this one.